So this is my commentary on the events that happened today in France. What effect it has on me personally. So my girlfriend calls me up today and says, "Hey, have you seen the news?" I'm like, "No, what happened?" There was a bombing in France, in Nice. You know, that promenade that we used to walk on? If this would have happened 2 months earlier, this would have been us. Let's rather reschedule or see what we can do about our further plans in traveling and avoid those big kind of touristy places. And I'm like, wait a second, whoa, I live here, I live in Italy. I'm not gonna have nobody come here and tell me that I can or cannot do the things that I usually do. Like if I want to go to an event that is a crowded place, now I have to pay attention to that because somebody made a bombing in Europe. It's just that I mean, there's no proof if it's ISIS or not, whatever, but we got into obviously the conversation of ISIS and, you know, what they're doing and how they could bomb anything and anyone at any point. I'm saying, well, calm down, you know, they're just trying to instill fear onto you. Like, what do you mean fear? Of course there's fear. You should have seen the news. There's like people decapitated, splashed in Russia. They're really graphic with their films, so you could see brains on the floor and, you know, arms on the floor. I'm not apathic about it. My sympathy goes out to the people in France. I was at a point I was in France I was homeless. I had no place to go, so I was in France, in Nice, in that very place where this happened. And people from Nice took me into their homes. They've opened their houses to me and basically fed me. I was at their mercy, and I love Nice. I love France. The place is so dear to my heart, and the people there are so free, and they enjoy life, and I love that place. It means that I'm not just a bystander who, oh, something happened to someone, some country bombed some other country. Now I'm making like a video because, well, no, I mean, it's an actual personal connection to that place. I have it, and we got into this conversation of ISIS and how they're sort of trying to just blow up things in order to make fear, because through fear comes division and divide and conquer, and they're trying to do all this kind of stuff in order to create fear. As much as your initial reaction is to have fear of this, what is going on, and because of that react and explode and say whatever you need to say, or put yourself into a box and not go into certain places because there's those fears of bombings. As much as you want to have some kind of reaction, the best is, and I'm really sorry to say this, you ignore that. You do not give the terrorist the victory of your fear. You do not. The last time this happened in Paris, a mass shooting, everybody's familiar with that. One of the videos that really struck me was one of the people the husband whose wife got shot. He stood there in front of the camera, looked at the camera and said, "I forgive you, and you will not steal my joy. You may have taken away my wife, but you will not steal my joy and my freedom. I will not hate you. I will not hate you." For me, I can say this and be like, yes, that's the right thing to say, yes, you're a great person, but for that person, that meant a lot. That person who sat there, and for him it's real. And in the same way, the reason I'm making this video is because it affects every single one of us right now. We have the choice to be either fearful or not. Either take action, be all aggressive about it, and add to this mayhem, or just let it go. The more you talk about it, the more you make it into a big thing, the more power it has. Of course, a bomb goes off, or like a stone goes into the water, bloop, and it ripples away. I am one of those ripples at the moment. the stone was the terrect, the thing that happened with the bus and the people in Nice. So there's going to be lots of ripples. There's no ways about it. Another thing that concerns ISIS is the whole thing of they figured out the formula. They cracked it pretty well. They're smart people. They're doing the wrong thing. There's a thing called Wolff's Law. Is when you break a bone, it grows back together stronger. Right? So if you break something, it has to grow back together with a different formulation. Muscles. When you, the reason why muscles get bigger, you push up, pull-ups, whatever, they don't get bigger until you get to the point where you're really, really, really paining and like, ah! That's the reason, because your muscles are ripping apart. And so once they're ripped, there has to have some protein or some other stuff to fill this tear up, right? So, and then they become bigger. Because they're ripped apart, you can put something in and then they become bigger. What is ISIS doing? They're making tears in the community, in society. They're making those tears so that they can come in and become a part of it. So they have cracked the formula, but we can either choose to allow them to come in into our hearts, into our lives, and bestow fear of them. Right? This is on an individual level. You understand? So what they're doing is not just for France, or not just for Nice, or just the people whose lives were affected, who have lost their loved ones. This is a media coverage that goes out to all the world, and everybody is feeling some kind of, as a society, as a community, as people of the world, we all feel something about it, and it. We have a choice. It's going to change our life. It changes our life in a minute scale, in a big scale. It doesn't matter. For all people, it changes something inside of them. After this, it's not going to be the same. It's just what we do about that. How do we deal with the situation? How do we walk away from it? And the idea is there. What they're really wanting to do is they're trying to bestow fear into the hearts so that there will be separation. Once we are separated from each other, that's going to allow them to infiltrate or come in and be a part, be a part of the country, the community, people. And I just don't want that. And to give you a concrete, solid example, me and my girlfriend, we love each other, and we don't usually fight. We actually don't fight pretty much at all. But today's conversation led into almost a fight kind of thing. And this is what it does. Fear gets into your heart, and fear is the opposite of love. Hate, fear, it's the, one category: love, joy, happiness; hate, fear, sadness. Those are like the two, opposites. And so, this fear has gotten, this shocking imagery that my girlfriend was seeing today, and has gotten inside of her mind, inside of her heart, and when she's speaking to me, that love that we have together is in a, what do you call it? It's faded. There's a cloud of this whole fear, which doesn't allow the love to come through and to communicate. And they say love covers all, and that's true, because the reason why we can communicate is because we communicate, we connect together on a level of love, and we're able to understand and love each other beyond a simple argument. That's how human beings work. But I just imagine for a second, I just remember V for Vendetta, how their whole that whole scene of England being an isolated country, and that whole environment, and that's exactly what they would have if the fear would grow and grow. And there was a specific place where in V for Vendetta, where there's the two lesbian girls that love each other and grow roses for each other, and they just live in love amongst all this fear that is happening, and they just love each other. And I just see that's the way that we should be as human society, is that we should continue looking at love and try to step away from the fear. As much as you want to go ahead and judge this person, blame it all on ISIS, and talk about government conspiracies and how they're actually using it for political gains, and I don't know, whatever else it may be, you take a step away from that. And like Gandhi said, it's non-violent, non-cooperation. You just take a step back and you say, listen, I'm not a part of it. I'm not gonna give you my hate. Really, like, the people who have died there, you know, for them I'm sorry. If there's anything I can do to help them, if that's where you want to aim your energy, is support the people that were hurt, support them. But hating, fearing, anything in the other spectrum is allowing not only the person who had committed this crime and terrible act the victory of killing 80 people, or I'm not sure the numbers, but also give him the victory of winning in thousands, millions of people who see this act on their television. And I mean, I don't make videos like this, but it struck me today. Today I had an argument because of an event that happened somewhere else. And I just want to encourage you to continue staying strong, continue loving other people. Not give up on love, on hope, on yourself. And continue believing that this is a beautiful world, because it is.